The heart of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is Captain America, and while the internet is aflutter about whether the fourth Avengers movie will mark the last entry with Chris Evans, we wanted to look back at the old Captain America movie. No, not that one from the 90s. No, not that one. Jeez, get that off the screen. No, we're talking about the original Captain America movie, the movie Serial from 1944. So, you ever wonder what the Marvel Bullpen artists in the Golden Age thought about that movie when it came out? Well, you're gonna find out, because we talked to Golden Age Captain America artist Allen Bellman, and he's gonna tell us all about it coming up next. Hello heroes, Forcade here with a special look at the very first Marvel comic movie adaptation, the 1944 Captain America movie Serial. And today it's a special treat. We have one of the original 1940s Captain America comic artists, Allen Bellman, to tell us what he thought of the serial back in the days when it came out. But the most amazing part of the story is how the Marvel Bullpen artists found out about the movie.
Do I remember that Sid Shaw was the artist. Kirby had left, so Sid Shaw, who I became a very good friend of, took over Captain America and doing penciling, and he's doing a fine job. And but he was being inducted, so he had to go down to a certain area. He had to go down to a certain area where the movie marquee, and they were told all the inductees to stay under the marquee. They weren't going in yet. So Sid came back and says, "You know what, fellas? They have a Captain America movie serial."
Now, I got to break in just to underscore what Mr. Bellman said there. The enlistment station, the meeting place, was at a theater venue that was playing Captain America. Captain America to recruit a Captain America artist. And then, if that wasn't enough, the most interesting thing, Bellman never even knew that there was a movie.
So Sid came back and says, "You know what, fellas? They have a Captain America movie serial." And we were never told that. And the fact remains that an actor named Dick Purcell was Captain America.
But they didn't ask you guys for artistic input on the movie, huh?
No, we had nothing to do with it.
I'm not surprised that Bellman remembered Dick Purcell in the role of Captain America. In my many conversations about comic book adaptations over the years, one of the very few things that people know right off the bat about that is Dick Purcell. And I could never quite figure out why. I studied film in college in the 90s, and I had never heard of him before I found out about the Captain America serial. But a closer look at his career gained a few insights into his unique fame in Hollywood history. For starters, he did a lot of movies over a short period of time, over 70 movies in just 8 years. He was largely a contract player for Paramount Pictures, appearing mostly in mysteries and thrillers, but he was in just about everything, romances, comedies, and in 1938 he appeared in a musical from the legendary choreographer, director Busby Berkeley. In 1940, Purcell starred with W.C. Fields in The Bank Dick, which led to this classic line of comedy from the golden age of cinema.
Would you entertain a proposition to direct this picture? Take a gambler's chance on a percentage of the profits basis?
Yes, just a moment. Was I in here last night and did I spend a $20 bill?
Yeah.
Oh, boy, what a load that is off my mind. I thought I'd lost it.
In 1944, Paramount loaned Purcell out to Republic Studios for the Captain America serial for what would be his final film. Soon after shooting was completed, Purcell tragically died suddenly of a heart attack after a round of golf. He was only 38, adding to his fame the promise of a burgeoning career cut short. But when it came to the Captain America film, Bellman was disappointed.
Boy, it shouldn't happen to you. They gave him a suit that almost looked like Captain America's uniform. No wings on the head. You could see it was underwear in black or blue, whatever. It was black and white at the time. So,
to be fair, I think the costume is actually a little unfairly judged by a lot of people. I mean, when you think about it, it should be a bodysuit, and there's a few elements missing. The wings are missing, etc. But generally, that would be kind of how they viewed superhero costumes up until very recently, when the costumes were kind of more fortified and made a little bit more like body armor and stuff. But spandex was what they thought superhero costumes were even into the 80s. So considering this is in the 1940s, it's really not that bad. I personally think the biggest thing that's so jarring for people is the fact that he doesn't have his shield. Not even the original triangular one or anything. And of course, he's got a gun, which was very shocking for me.
I noticed, I don't know if you remember, but I noticed another big change they made to the character. Instead of a shield, he had a gun. You remember that?
You know, I remember a lot of things. Sometimes I can't remember what I had for breakfast. But I don't remember that exactly. All I know is the way he looked, and I know his name. Again, I'll repeat, Dick Purcell, who's, I guess, long gone. But it was something they probably put together in a couple of weeks. And it wasn't really Captain America. And I understand Martin Goodman, the publisher, just let them have the rights for free. But now it's a whole different story. Marvel is in control, and anything you see they keep to the facts. The way the comic strip is, that's the way they do it. But these private guys they just didn't know what they were doing.
But despite its character and plot faults, it's worth noting Captain America was not a shoddy production, and that's largely due in part to it being filmed at Republic Studios. Republic Studios has a place in history as the top movie serial studio in the industry, whereas most movie serials were filmed by small divisions of larger studios, like Columbia Pictures had its own subdivision that worked on serials. But of course, at these major studios, they look down upon the serials as the junk trash entertainment of the movie industry, just like the movie industry looked at comic books as junk trash and didn't feel that they needed to always be so authentic with them. So with Republic, it was different. They took movie serials seriously, and they really worked hard at them, and the craft really shows on the screen. And in fact, Captain America was the highest budgeted serial in their production history, and it shows. The special effects are lush, and all that budget is right on the screen. But where Bellman's charge of inauthenticity is most valid is in the character of Captain America. He's not Steve Rogers. He's not a captain in the military. Instead, he's Grant Gardner, a district attorney by day. There's no Bucky, and worst of all, there's no supervillain. The big villain bad guy doesn't wear a costume or have abilities. He's just a criminal mastermind, kind of like an average mob boss or something.
I'm really not enticed. I go, mainly as a little bit of loyalty, though I like Michael Uslan's movies. I go see his, and Stan Lee, who I still go back and forth on email. I'll go there to see Stan Lee, you know. He'll walk in for 2-3 seconds, and he may gobble or say something, you know, and he was out. But the movies like Iron Man 2 is beautifully done. And what can I say about Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3?
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Alan. I really appreciate it.
Well, I thank you for having me, and what's the old saying? See you in the funny papers.